So, Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. The only thing I can think of right now is, and excuse my language, but holy shit, that was without a doubt the best thing I have ever seen. I'm gonna have to compose myself before jumping into this review of quite possibly the best Star Wars episode ever. But let's just get right to the review. Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett is titled, From the Desert Comes a Stranger, and it left my jaw dropped open the entire time. We open up on Tatooine with some Pykes getting ready to leave a shipment of spice for someone to pick up, when their little meetup gets foiled by a familiar face, the Marshal of Mos Pelgo himself, Cobb Vanth. He is looking a little weak without Boba's armor now, but it does not stop him from taking down the Pykes with lightning fast speeds and dumping the spice out into the desert, saying that Mos Pelgo is off limits and that no one will be running spice through it. Seriously, one of the coolest entrances I've ever seen. It is a quick cameo though as we jump right ahead to Din Djarin, who is on his way to visit Grogu, giving us one of the greatest scenes in all of Star Wars. Luke's Jedi Temple is literally under construction while Luke is training with Grogu. And I mean, we get extensive training, going from meditation to balancing to running all over, giving us great callbacks to Luke's time training with Yoda. We also get to see Grogu holding his own against the training remote. It's so surreal, but the biggest thing is we get something pretty dark. Luke dives into Grogu's mind and we see the 501st assault on the Jedi Temple as Jedi are shot down right in front of Grogu as he just stares at them in fear and terror. And it's so unnerving, but we're getting so much closer to figuring out just who rescued Grogu. While all of this is going on, Mando has fallen asleep while waiting when who should show up but Ahsoka Tano. Seriously, I can't make this stuff up. This episode is insane. But she explains to Din that Grogu does miss him dearly, but seeing him might make that worse. Naturally, attachment is forbidden in the Jedi way, even if all he wants to do is deliver a gift that Din had made for Grogu. Din is, however, able to understand the importance of Grogu's training and chooses to leave the gift with Ahsoka to give to Grogu, which gives us another amazing scene. Luke and Ahsoka, finally together and on screen. This is quite possibly one of the greatest moments ever and one that I've been dying to see, right up to when Ahsoka tells Luke that he is so much like his father. It nearly brought me to tears, but it's warranted. This is such an important scene for both of these characters. But it unfortunately stops there. Din returns to Tatooine and lands in Boba's palace where he meets up with everyone to start planning for an all-out war. Fennec is leading the presentation when she mentions that while they've done well so far, they need more numbers. They need foot soldiers. To which Din says he may be able to help with that. And without hesitation, we're off again as Din flies into Mos Pelgo to meet with his old friend, Cobb Vanth. Din explains the whole situation, but Cobb is hesitant to join in the cause, explaining that it really has nothing to do with the citizens of Mos Pelgo, which they have renamed Freetown, another great nod to the Aftermath books. Din makes it clear, though, that he's asking as a favor, which is apparently something that he's not very good at. Cobb explains that it's been tough around Freetown, but he'll see what he can do. And just like that, Din is off and headed back to Boba. Cobb explains to the citizens that he wants every man and woman of fighting age to be rounded up for a town meeting to see what everyone thinks of joining in this potential war. When something catches his eye in the distance, a single stranger walking through the desert, almost like the title of the episode suggests. And right away, I knew exactly who this was and who Cobb Vanth was about to have to deal with. The legend himself, Cad freaking Bane, who looks absolutely terrifying in live action, might I add, but it's just crazy. He shows up and explains to Cobb that whatever Fett is paying him, he'll match just for him to stay out of the way. Cobb doesn't really seem to care about what the stranger has to offer. Cad continues to explain that Boba is a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire. Cobb is not having any of it, which results in a classic standoff, which has the end result that I'm not sure I know the answer to. Thanks to the deputy trying to overstep his boundaries, Cobb gets distracted just as Cad Bane pulls out his blaster, getting off one shot at Cobb, but 4 into the deputy. Now, the deputy is definitely dead, but I'm not sure as to whether or not Cobb survived. I certainly hope he does, and waiting a week to find out is going to be tough as hell. Cad Bane tells the citizens that Tatooine belongs to the Syndicate and leaves town. Meanwhile, back in Mos Espa, the Sanctuary is having a very busy evening when two members of the Pykes Syndicate walk in. They get a table and leave a few minutes later. Only after they leave does one of the server droids mention that they forgot their Camtono, but it's too late. It's a bomb, which explodes, killing what I would assume to be everyone inside. It was completely unexpected, but wow, was it intense. But it's still not over. We go back to Grogu and Luke, where Luke decides to offer a choice. He shows Grogu the chainmail shirt that was made for him and offers it to Grogu. But before he can take it, Luke explains. He may take the shirt and return to the Mandalorian and stop his training, or he can take the second gift, which happens to be one of the biggest jaw-dropping scenes ever. The gift is Yoda's lightsaber. Luke offers it to Grogu, so now Grogu can choose to take the path of the Jedi or return to his life with the Mandalorian, leaving us stressed out enough to end the episode before Grogu can decide. This episode was just an easy 10 trillion out of 10 for me. It was simply perfect in every way possible, and I don't even know how many times I plan to rewatch it, but it's a countless number, I assure you. Just seeing all these cameos blew my mind, and knowing that we still have another episode left has me ready for this all-out war. But I truly have to stop myself there before I go on for too long. But what were your thoughts? Did you like that we saw Grogu again? What do you think will happen in this war for Tatooine? And who was your favorite character cameo? There's way too many to choose from, but let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. As always, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. And remember, the Force will be with you. Always.